Hello and welcome to Lordsborough & Co YouTube channel, something different again. I was having my morning coffee, finishing my invoices, and in the background I like to watch the news and read the headlines. I normally go through multiple news channels because I want to get a balanced view, not from one side or the other. I like to hear all sides. I was just about to finish and get out the door, go and see some pubs because that's what I need to do today. And Greg Mulholland was on GB News, and I thought, well, that's interesting. So I stopped and watched it. The guy interviewing, I think he's called Tom Harvey, and I'm just, I'm just amazed at what went down when pubs are struggling like they are. Our business obviously relies on pubs. It's tough for us as well at the moment. And then that has a knock-on effect with everybody down the line. And this little jumped up reporter decided that he was going to give Greg a hard time. And I just actually still can't understand what he was trying to get at or what the benefit is. So we're going to watch it together, okay? So I'm going to shrink my screen down. So small. Right, let's watch this car crash. I'll mute my mic.
It's 11:24. This is To The Point on GB News with me, Anaya Falarin Iman and Tom Harwood. We're live on your TV, online and radio this morning.
Yes, as the cost of living crisis continues to bite, pubs around the country are being forced to, quote, hibernate for the winter in a bid to avoid spiralling energy, food and staff bills amid the cost of living crisis.
Well, some pubs have had to close their doors until spring or miss out on...
And that's true. I mean, in lockdown, people learn, or business owners learn, that sometimes you need to hibernate. So, at first I'm thinking, oh, this might actually be something positive.
The festive period, which can make or break for many smaller pubs. Well, the energy bill relief scheme is currently only in place until March, leaving pubs concerned that costs will spike after and put firms at further risk. Well, joining us now is Greg Mulholland, former MP and director and chair of the British Pub Confederation. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, do you think, what do you make of some pubs basically saying that they're going to close during the winter when that potentially is a very lucrative and important time for them?
Well, I think that in itself shows just how serious the situation is for pubs. And I think it's important to realise why it's so serious. On the one hand, pubs themselves have hugely spiralling costs, particularly energy bills. And let's remember that the business energy package is nothing like the domestic package, which in itself has been shown not actually to be a cap on energy bills. So pubs are still, even with the cap in place, bills that are going to be, in some cases, 200-300% more than they were last year. So still, that's a huge problem. And at the same time, of course, the living crisis means that people simply don't have the same money in their pockets. And one of the first things that people have to cut back on if they are struggling to make ends meet is going out, is doing things like going to the pub. So the fact that some pubs are having to take that decision, that knowing that they simply can't make a profit with the level of energy bills and the other costs, that they are closing their doors. That, however, is a decision that only some pubs can make, where the pub is owned by either the individual who can afford to do it or by a company who's prepared to mothball the pub. But it does stop the publican, be that a freeholder, a tenant, a manager, from making a living, and people are reliant on making a living. So that in itself then has an impact on the whole cost of living crisis and the numbers of people struggling to make ends meet. So it's a very worrying situation.
Yes, it's interesting that you make that distinction there, because...
Right, so I think that's spot on. There's nothing really, there's no questions in that. That's exactly what's happening at the moment in the market. Just watch this. Just watch this.
It would be almost impossible to imagine how it would be more profitable to not open your doors and pay rent and pay heating and all the rest of it. So there's a distinction there between those pubs that are owned by the people that run them versus those that are rented properties. But even so, the idea that no customers, the idea that closing doors to customers could actually be a better financial position than opening doors to customers is so stark. What should be done about it?
Well, I think that's the key thing, and I think you may have been aware that there was real anger. The campaign for pubs, the national campaign representing pubs and publicans, expressed not only dismay but anger on the part of publicans that the now virtually totally U-turned mini budget of a few weeks ago had nothing whatsoever to deal with the issues that we're talking about. Now we've had a change of chancellor, then certainly we, and I'm sure other organisations, will be calling upon him, on Jeremy Hunt, to actually listen and to act. And that means acting to help pubs directly.
Just to interrupt you for a second.
So this is where it really starts. So he cuts him off, and then it winds me up as well, actually, because I was like, what the heck? Let the man speak. Yeah.
And there, the mini budget did, of course, have the freezing of corporation tax. Now that's going up, so that will hurt those larger pub chains. It had the energy price guarantee for businesses as well as for individuals. That remains until April. That will cap the unit cost of energy for those businesses.
This frustrates me because they're all talking like they're flipping heroes for capping the unit cost. Well, I'm sorry, it's already too late for a load of us. I mean, gosh, my electric bill at the brewery, because our kit runs on electric, is like 1,800 quid a month sometimes. You know, it's like, so this, oh well, we've really helped you, we've capped energy costs. Well, blooming hammer, it's too late. It's already too late. Don't try and celebrate it like you've done some big thing. You should have got a handle on it way before this. You knew there was a war happening. You knew it was Russia. You knew it was involved with gas and fuel. That's their biggest export. So, my gosh, I'll get off my soapbox. Let's carry on watching.
Will be a help, no doubt, at the cost of billions to the taxpayer. There were, of course, changes to alcohol duty in that mini budget, now scrapped, sadly, of course, as well. But there were things that were being done.
Well, I'll repeat what I said, Tom. There was nothing whatsoever in that mini budget to help ordinary pubs. Alcohol duty.
Why don't those three things help ordinary pubs? Why doesn't the change to alcohol duty? Why does the change? Well, excuse me, Greg Mulholland. I want to get a clear answer to this question.
Sorry. Do you want to have an interview? Because if you want to have an interview, I'll have one.
Greg Mulholland, I really do want to have an interview.
You can see that poor lady's like super awkward. She can see that this Tom lad is making a bit of a mess of this, and bless her, she keeps her cool. But what's he know about? What does Tom know about alcohol duty and how it works? And a clue, not a clue.
If you want to know, Shal, that you're a cheerleader for the reverse mini budget, then frankly, I'm wasting my time. If you want to listen.
I want to get an answer to a simple question. If you'll let me pose the question, I'll let you speak for your answer.
At the moment, you are being very rude and talking over me. Do you want to hear my answer or not?
Greg, I'd like to ask the question and then you can answer it. Can we agree to that?
Well, yes. So, frankly, shut up and let me answer it. You've already asked the question.
Greg, the question is, why does the energy price guarantee not help pubs?
It's showing that you're an ideological idiot, which frankly most people know.
Well, Greg, you're being rude, so we're going to end this here. Greg, thank you for your time.
And he's not wrong. And this is exactly... I think the media have completely missed what the people of this country now think. I don't care whether you're left wing, right wing, middle wing, whatever. We are sick of all the nonsense. It is absolute garbage. You spend more time arguing than like bringing out solutions. There's no solutions. There's just, well, what will keep us in power? What will get us in power? And well, we'll please these people, and we'll please those people, and we'll please these people, and we'll please those people, and nothing gets flipping done. That's the problem. You're all self-serving, and he is. He's trying to be a blooming, oh, look at me. I agree with this, I agree with that. You brought him on to talk about pubs. You brought him on to talk about the situation that we're in as an industry. And you just don't get it. You're so busy. You're so in your little bubble, in your little echo chamber of like, oh, well, if I say this, I'll make this person happy. If I say that, just ask the guy the questions, let him answer, and he'll tell you exactly. And do you know the mad bit is, we have to get people, this is the biggest problem with mainstream media, we have to get people like Greg to stand up for us. We have to put big groups together because no one will give us a platform. No one will give us a platform. None of you guys will, unless we are serving one of your blooming your motives or your message or your what you're trying to achieve. It's all self-serving. It's absolute nonsense. Start listening to the people. There was an opportunity there. Pubs do a lot. They do a lot. They do a lot in a lot of places. Pubs are as you know. Old boy goes in there. There's a pub not far from here, and there's an old boy that goes in there every day for his lunch. He doesn't have any beer. He just goes in for his lunch. If he's not there, the pub landlady is like, well, where is he? Is he all right? And then it's, hey, have you seen so-and-so? Maybe we should go and check up on him and make sure he's all right. That's just some of it. The other side to it is people... Anyway, you don't need to know this. I'm just really angry. I just think, why get someone on and that we are so sick of your mini budgets. We're so sick of all your... This is what we're doing, and nothing happens. Nothing happens at all. You just self-serve. It's just, you're all as bad as each other. Honestly, so frustrating. And meanwhile, people like me, people like these pub landlords, we've ploughed our life savings, our time, our energy into building businesses that you guys, and I'm talking about government. I'm talking about the opposition. I'm talking about the media on the wide. None of you care. You don't care. You're not interested. As long as you're getting your wage packet and you're filling your friends' pockets, it's all good. But it's people like me that suffer. That's the problem. That's really it. And if you knock out a whole swathe of industry, yeah, there'll be other industry stuff that will take its place, but somewhere down the line it'll have a knock-on effect. And what was done today, he should have just kept his mouth shut, let the man answer, and then. But no, we had to make it a political statement. Unbelievable. Just anyway, let's watch. This bit is so awkward now at this point that it's pure gold.
It is interesting, though. I wasn't making an ideological point. I was asking, how does an energy price guarantee, which fixes the unit cost of price for businesses like pubs, how does that not help? It was an extraordinary reaction to that question from Greg Nicole there.
I do think there needs to be a broader conversation, though, interestingly, that so much of these questions are actually in the context of the consequences of the lockdown and actually what we did during the COVID-19 pandemic. And actually there seems to be almost a kind of amnesia across the board as to what exacerbated, if not the origins of many of these problems we're facing right now, that many people were cheerleaders of. So there are obviously a lot of passionate views on many different sides of the debate.
Of course, and if there are any reasonable publicans watching who'd like to come and have a discussion about how there might be help through energy bills, this...
Reasonable publicans. I think we've all got to the point, Tom, with all due respect, that we're sick of getting absolutely pummeled by you lot. I'll give you an example. The last Christmas, lockdown was over and things were looking up, and the news announces, hey, if you have your injection, don't go down the pub after. Don't go down the pub. Not don't go to the cinema, don't go to the shopping centres. No, don't go to the pubs. Don't go to the pubs. Why? Why? It literally, our sales went, boom, gone. Destroyed. Flipping. And you want us to be, oh my word. Honestly.
Winter, then please do get in touch. But for now, we're going to go to the latest headlines.
This is awesome. This just made me giggle. Childish? Yeah, fine, it's childish. At least I can get something funny out of this.
Now, we're going to go to the latest headlines.
A very good morning. We'll bring you the news just after this short break.